Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Sports Talk, Network channel, and welcome to this other video. Welcome to Talking Packers with Steve here at the Sports Talk Network. Just wanted to say off the top, sorry I wasn't able to have NorbCam here with me for this episode. Just didn't work out with our timing and everything. He had his own podcast to do last night on his channel video. But that's all right. Hopefully next year when we play the Seahawks, because it seems like it's an annual thing. Packers versus Seahawks, and maybe this time it'll be in Green Bay. And maybe he'll be here in person. Who knows? But either way, he's awesome. Check out his channel if you haven't already done so. NorbCam here on YouTube, Seahawks fan. Also, wanted to share that this week's game of the week, these two teams, I'll give you a couple seconds to guess since you kind of saw their helmets a little bit, just not the logos. Give you about 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yep, the teams that we have for this week for my game of the week for week 11 is the Houston Texans against Washington. In Washington, division leaders trying to hold on to their leads in their divisions. But it could be a Super Bowl matchup. You never know. But I'll let you know here shortly who I have winning this game. But it's Houston Texans against Washington in Washington. But that is my game of the week for this week. Let's go over week 10. We had the 6-3 Panthers, the Panthers lose the Steelers 52-21. Bears over the Lions 34-22. The Steelers game, Beth Roethlisberger 22 for 25, 328 yards, 5 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Lions losing to the Bears, like I said, 34-22. Mitchell Trubisky 355 passing yards, 4 touchdowns, 3 passing, 1 rushing for those TDs for Mr. Trubisky. Saints over the Bengals 51-14. Breeze passed Brett Favre, the great, not late great, but just great. And former Packer Brett Favre for second most passing touchdowns in NFL history. The Browns beat the Falcons in a surprise at home. Nick Chubb, 23 touches, 209 scrimmage yards, and 2 touchdowns, running back for the Browns. 29-26 Colts over the Jaguars. Colts 3 straight wins for the first time since 2015. The Chiefs over the Cardinals, 26-14. Patrick Mahomes, most passing touchdowns in a single season in team history. The Bills crushed the Jets, 41-10. Bills, the largest win on the road since week 1 in 2011. Washington defeating Buccaneers, 16-3 on the road. Redskins, our Washington team, 6-3, best record through 9 games since 2008. The Titans surprising the Patriots, getting the win, 34-10. Titans defeat the Patriots for the first time since 2002. I was a freshman in high school. I just started my freshman year, September 2002, or whenever during the season. I was starting my freshman year as a high school student at that time. So, yeah. The LA Chargers over the Oakland Raiders, 20-6 on the road. The Chargers, who are 7-2, have the best start through 9 games since 2006. 2002, I started high school. 2006, as people can do the math. 4 years later, turned 18, graduated high school in 2006. So, cool. The 13-time world champion Green Bay Packers defeating the Dolphins 31-12. Aaron Jones, 145 rushing yards, 2 rushing touchdowns, which would be a career high for him. The LA Rams over the Seahawks at home 36-31. Rams 9-1. Best record through 10 games since 1969. I was not born at that time, so I have no significance with that date in my life. Though I think my parents were born 68, 69. So they were born or 1 year old when that happened. So cool. And maybe back then they were the LA Rams too, right? They were LA Rams, then St. Louis Rams, and now back to LA Rams. Cowboys over the Eagles 27-20. Ezekiel Elliott 187 scrimmage yards and 2 touchdowns. Being the highlight of that game. Monday Night Football, two hapless teams, but hey, a win is a win, and it's good for the Giants. 27-23 over the 49ers. Saquon Barkley, 100-plus scrimmage yards in 8 or 9 career games. It's awesome indeed. Teams that were on a bye last week, the Baltimore Ravens, 4-5. Minnesota Vikings, 5-3-1. Houston Texans, 6-3. And the Broncos, who are 3-6. Let's move on to week number 11 and Thursday night game, which is actually tonight. The Packers against the Seahawks on the road. I'm actually going to predict against my Packers. It's a battle of two teams that are pretty much the same record. Packers are 4-1. Seahawks are 4-5 in Seattle. Packers have not won in Seattle since week 6 in 2008. So there you go. I have the Seahawks over the Packers, unfortunately, 28-23 there. Then for Sunday's games, we have the 4-5 Cowboys against the 4-5 Falcons in Atlanta. The Cowboys have not beaten the Falcons in Atlanta since 2006, that glorious year I turned 18, graduated high school. So there you go. I'm going to go with the Falcons over the Cowboys, 35-23 in that matchup. We got the Bengals against the Ravens, the 5-4 Bengals against the 4-5 Ravens in Baltimore. Ravens' first 3-plus game losing streak since 2016 season, so not too long ago. But hopefully that does end. I'm going with the Ravens over the Bengals, 23-20. Then we also have, moving right along, sorry about that, we have the 6-3 Panthers against the 3-6 Lions. Cam Newton, 100-plus passer rating in 4 straight games. I think that might continue here against Detroit. Panthers getting the win on the road over Detroit, 45-20 in that matchup. Titans-Colts, 5-4 Titans, 4-5 Colts. Andrew Luck, 9-0 versus Titans' career. I'm going to go with that. Continuing the Titans, crushing the Colts, 35-13 there. 35-13, Colts over Titans. Then we got the 3-6 Tampa Bay Buccaneers against the 2-7 New York Giants in New York. Saquon Barkley and Beckham versus Bucs, last-ranked scoring defense there in that matchup. I'm going to go with the Buccaneers getting the win, pulling out 13-6 in that game. And then the game of the week here, the Houston Texans against Washington. 6-3 Texans against a 6-3 Washington team. Both teams are leading the division. Both teams with the same record even. Which one will gain a notch above the other one in record-wise in the total NFL, let alone in their own divisions, trying to stay at the top of their divisions. I'm actually going to go with the home team, the Washington team here, getting the win. I have Washington over Houston, 35-31, the final there. So home team getting the benefit of the doubt in that matchup. We have the 6-2-1 Steelers against the 3-6 Jaguars. Jaguars, one of 2 winless teams in NFL since week 5. I'm going to go with the Steelers defeating the Jaguars 23-20 in this matchup, but the Jaguars showing some heart for sure. A battle of 2 hapless teams in a sense, the Raiders and the Cardinals. The 1-8 Raiders against the 2-7 Cardinals. Third worst start in team history for the Raiders at 1-8. I'm going to go with the Raiders getting the win on the road in a close matchup, 16-9. They're the 3-6 Broncos against the 7-2 Chargers. The Chargers lost 11 of 14 games versus Denver, including playoffs. But this time, different story. I'm going to go with the LA Chargers getting the win over Denver and the Denver Broncos. Chargers over the Broncos, 36-28. The 4-5 Eagles against the 8-1 Saints. Saints 8-game winning streak, longest active streak in the NFL after starting 1. I'm going to go with the Saints continuing their winning streak, making it up to 9-game winning streak, defeating the Philadelphia Eagles at home, 37-25. For the Sunday Night Football game on NBC, we got the Minnesota Vikings at 5-3-1 against the Chicago Bears, 6-3 in Chicago. And it is a battle for first place in the NFC North. The Packers and Lions are just trying to win, period, to catch up at all. And before this one, I'm going to go with the home team and with the Bears over the Vikings in a big battle matchup, 45-43. Bears over the Vikings. Then Monday Night Football on ESPN. The game that was supposed to be played in Mexico City, field conditions looking like trash, so they're going back to LA. So it will be an actual home game. It would have been a home game the Rams gave up, but technically a Rams home game that they just gave to Mexico City. But due to that, due to the field conditions, it won't be a neutral site. It will be in Wisconsin. It will be in LA. Battle of MVP frontrunners and Patrick Mahomes and Todd Gurley. Again, as I have with most of the matchups this week, with great matchups and great battles, I usually go home team, and I still will here. I'm going to go with the LA Rams over the Chiefs. We get the 9-1 Chiefs against the 9-1 Rams. I have the Rams going to 10-1 and getting the win. Chiefs dropping to 9-2. Rams over the Chiefs 37-28. Teams on a bye for this week here for week 11 are the 3-7 Buffalo Bills, the 3-6-1 Cleveland Browns, the 5-5 Miami Dolphins, the 3-7 New York Jets, the 7-3 New England Patriots, and the 2-8 San Francisco 49ers. So that be that for that. I definitely do look forward to seeing how it all goes down, how the matchups go, because I certainly think things are going to flow out. And I look forward to that all. No, sorry about that. But anyways, hope you guys have enjoyed everything and have my thoughts on everything. So you're welcome to go there. Excuse me, sorry about that. But welcome to share your thoughts and all the other stuff as well. Subscribe to the channel, ring the bell. Next week we'll be talking football again. I love it. I love talking football. I love going in depth talking some football as well if need be. Usually I just do scoring predictions, but definitely if you want me to, let me know and I'll go in depth about some games and some players. So definitely have thoughts and feelings about everything. Yes. I hope you all have a great rest of your evening. Go Pack, go tonight. Hope the Packers can get the win and at least stay above water and mathematically still be able to try to get one of the playoff spots. But we'll certainly, I guess we'll just certainly see how that goes moving forward. Have a great rest of your day, your evening, and otherwise, I'll be back later tonight with my wrestling show, Steve's Wrestling Ramble, WWE Survivor Series coming up, one of the big 4 pay-per-views that WWE has. So I'm looking forward to talking that with my team, my boys, my dudes, and others that may want to join as well. So enjoy the day, enjoy the weather in your area, and above all else, as always, take care.